all of the big major banks in the United States are going to stop lending to anybody that has bad credit in 2024. I told you over a month ago that this was going to come to fruition this month and nobody believed me. They all thought it was a joke. It was clickbait. No, now it is finally actually happening. And I told you that these big banks are going to go broke because guess what? Now they're going to lose billions of dollars. Over $11 billion in revenue is going to be lost when these late fees get reduced from $32 all the way to $8 per late fee. Now, some people may also say that now these people are going to have less incentive to pay their bills on time. I get it, but I just want you to know exactly what's going on, how this is going to affect you, and there is a new hidden law that is coming into play also on top of this.
The American people are tired of being played for suckers.
The administration today touting a new rule that will cap credit card late fees to just $8, down from $32.
A lot of things can happen when big banks lose billions of dollars overnight because yes, it did go into effect on March 5th of 2024, which is a few days ago, but it isn't 100% rolled out. And all these banks are going to be scrambling in panic because this is billions of dollars that they're going to lose. Now, as you have seen, I don't know if you were paying attention in the news, but people have been getting laid off from these major banks. Some banks are closing physical locations and other banks are actually opening new locations. So it's kind of crazy. They're all sending different messages to us.
In 60 days, as the White House is also taking on junk fees for sporting events and concerts, high poultry and meat prices, and internet billing practices.
One thing's for sure, big banks don't just sit around hoping to get that revenue back somewhere or another. They're going to figure it out by either raising interest rates or figuring out a way to charge you directly, the consumer, either through their banking accounts or their credit card systems. One way or another, they're going to get that money back. So to everybody, this looks like a huge win on the surface, but when you deep dive into it, it's really maybe possibly not that big of a win, unfortunately. But the biggest problem that's going to be looming on Americans now is people that have bad credit are going to struggle to find any type of lending, whether it be for credit cards, auto loans, home loans. Banks are going to start tightening up once they start losing billions of dollars. You're always going to hear people say cash is king, credit doesn't matter. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, credit does matter. And this is a great example. You need to start working on your credit. Watch my free videos. They're everywhere. I built them for you for that reason. But you can't continue to allow yourself to sink into this massive hole because these interest rates are going to climb. That's my biggest fear, is that consumers are going to feel this more than anything, and these big banks are going to start raising the interest fees on all of these credit cards, and that's going to be even more detrimental for people that are already carrying large balances on their credit cards. But there seems to be some type of light at the end of the tunnel for this situation because the Biden administration, I believe, saw what was going to happen and they created a task force. So first, they got this actually approved. The CFPB is going to roll it out and it's going to be 100% in effect in about 60 days. So now it's become active in 60 days. Now the Biden administration created an actual task force to go after these companies that are price gouging Americans every day. Now we're not talking about just credit card companies. They're talking about all companies that are overcharging Americans. I mean, they're going to go after these credit repair companies that are actually overcharging people for credit repair. That's interesting, right? Take a look at this story about this task force real quick.
That's why today I'm launching a new strike force on unfair and illegal pricing. Crack down on companies who break the law while keeping prices high for American consumers.
Some may say it's a little too late, but as a matter of fact, the Biden administration has launched a joint FTC and DOJ task force to crack down on unfair and illegal pricing. People have been complaining for a couple of years now that the prices have gotten out of control and making everyday life unaffordable for Americans. Now, is it a convenient time that now they're doing it right before the actual State of the Union address and election season? Why was this not done a long time ago, Mr. Uncle Joe? This started to really get the wheels spinning in my head thinking, man, this is crazy. The Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice going after all this corporate pricing, but is it just gonna stop there? Are they gonna go after all these high rent prices, all these high prices for actual automobiles? Everything in everyday life has gotten so expensive in America, it's not even funny anymore. So are they just gonna just show us a bunch of smoke and mirrors to get this guy elected again? Or are they really gonna take action and help everyday Americans get back to their everyday lives. It's hard for everyday Americans to understand that sitting presidents don't control corporate pricing. Now, they can try to influence it as much as they can, but we have never had a time in American history where an actual president goes against banks, goes against companies, anybody in the corporate world that is price gouging Americans. We have never seen that happen. So is this a turning point for Americans where the actual government is going to step in and tell actual businesses what they can and cannot charge? Is this a good thing or is this the bad thing? I really don't know. And are they really truly going to deliver on this so-called promise that they're going to stop the price gouging in corporate America? Maybe this is what Americans need every day, for the actual government to step in and stop this corporate price gouging, because these corporations don't care at the end of the day. You saw the actual CEO of Kellogg's telling people, you should go eat cereal for dinner. It could save you so much money. Like, really? That's the solution? Instead of actually working on your prices, let's raise it another 30%, but you should eat cereal every night for dinner. It's just crazy. Everyday Americans need the help. So I hope you're paying attention to exactly what's going on, because you need to know how this is going to affect your everyday life. I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered two major topics that are going on in the U.S. economy that you need to know about. Make sure that you watch the next video, because it is about 1099 contracted employees and how that's going to change very soon. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.